Welcome to Retail Retold, the stories behind how that store landed in your neighborhood. I'm Chris Ressa, in conversation with the people and stories shaping retail and real estate. Brought to you by DLC. Welcome to Retail Retold, everyone. Today I'm here with Danielle Burnelli. Danielle is the president and a principal at R.J. Burnelli and Company. Welcome to the show, Danielle.
Thank you. Thanks, Chris.
So, Danielle, why don't you tell everyone a little bit about who you are and what you do?
Sure. R.J. Burnelli Company, we specialize in retail real estate. We're brokers. My father started the company 45 years ago, and we do landlord and tenant representation. I got my real estate license when I was 18 years old. And graduated from Monmouth University, but got working right away. So I have a really strong network of relationships. I've been doing mostly tenant rep work since I started. But yeah.
That's great. And so we went through this crazy time. How have you been handling what's gone on over the past 2 years?
We never stopped working, obviously. So I represent Dollar Tree, and they were one of the tenants that, thank God, kept going. They were even busier during COVID because they were, still leasing space. And fortunately, Dollar Tree and Family Dollar, they do well in the down times and the good times, and whenever.
Right.
So. Yeah, I mean, I was still super busy, and then it's kind of funny because one of the clients that we represent now, Gregory's Coffee, they were shut down in Manhattan. Most of the locations were, downtown Manhattan, and he called me up and said, I want to do drive-thrus. So it's kind of interesting how some tenants were able to just, turn around and see what they could figure out next during that time. So I was
that is interesting.
Yep.
Have any of those got going yet?
I have one that's about to get approved, hopefully, in Hazlitt. I just got a lease signed in Manalapan on Route 9. We have a lease out in Princeton. But he opened his first drive-through in Paramus on Route 17.
Wow. Good market, so.
Yeah.
Very cool. All right. I want to take us to everyone to get to know Danielle a little bit more, take us to a part of the show I call Clear the Air. I've got 3 fun questions for you. Are you ready?
Sure.
All right. Question 1. What is one skill you don't possess but wish you did?
So, I mean, I possess like every skill there is possible. So I asked my daughter, I was like, Ella, what skill don't I possess? She's like, well, you're really bad at math. Apparently I can't do like elementary school math because my daughter, like last year, especially during COVID, I was tough. Like I had to help my kids with like, their homework, and I ended up getting my kid like a D on
That's amazing.
Elementary school math.
Oh, let's stop right there. Best answer. I don't know why. That's amazing. Okay. Question 2. When is the last time you did something for the first time?
So I actually went to dinner yesterday. It's a BJ's Brewhouse restaurant. That was the first time I tried that. I was like, oh, this is a good answer. I like trying new restaurants, especially if they're new to the market.
Yeah.
So I was
very cool.
Yeah.
And last question: what is one thing most people agree with but you do not?
So I guess going back to like school, I have 10-year-old twins. My son is like this little brainiac kid, but he doesn't have to really do anything to get like his A's. Whereas my daughter is, she really has to work hard. She reminds me of me, but she'll get a C once in a while. So I think to me, like, grades in school doesn't really mean much. It's just about like how hard you work and really the effort that you put towards things. Just, school-wise, I was never good at school. Obviously, I can't do math still. So. But everything else, like I try my best, and I think that's, I don't know.
Yeah, we put,
The SAT scores was like ridiculous. I was just like, I don't know.
Yeah, so we put so much emphasis on education, and in America, right now. So I have a daughter who's going to be 5 and a 3-year-old son, and the biggest thing that we were talking about all winter was like, is she going to kindergarten this year, or are we gonna wait another year before to start kindergarten? And and you sit back and think about everything that's going on, and like the fight over, I hear about fights about people trying to get into the right preschool, and I'm like, let's take a step back here. Like, everything, there's nothing that I'm pro learning. I'm all about self-education.
I think kids need to be pushed. They still need to be pushed, right? But because it's going back to that. Like I sent my kids to Montessori school, and I don't know. I just heard good things about it. We're like, oh, Montessori.
Yeah.
So it was funny because my son really advanced in Montessori, but that's because, again, like he catches on to things really quickly. But at Montessori, they only push you if they think you're ready. So my daughter was like, she never wanted to like move on to the next step because she was just like in her comfort zone, and so they didn't ever push her. So she ended up like just scrubbing chairs for years in preschool. I'm like, what is going on?
Right.
But I don't know.
Yeah, I think, and what's interesting now is, as you said, it'll be interesting to see what happens in the generation that was isolated and sat home during COVID. What will be the long-term impacts of their education in the future? I think it'll be interesting. I keep saying there's nothing that you can learn in school that you can't go from a book, that you can't go on Google.com and find the answer.
Right.
I think the social interaction and getting those emotional intelligence and understanding what happens in life is just as important in the school setting, and we don't keep scores and test on that, and it's probably just as valuable of a skill as the math that your daughter was doing that you don't have to do today to be successful.
Right.
So, anyway, thank you for playing that game with me. I appreciate it. It was fun. Great answers. So, what I want to move to next is I want to see if you have a story for us about a deal or a store that you were a part of opening and what that was like. And
Sure.
Where are we going, Danielle?
So again, going back to Dollar Tree, I've done about 150 Dollar Tree deals,
Wow.
Dollar Tree Family Dollar deals. But one that's really special to me, it opened pretty recently, I guess a year or so ago. And that's because it was
What town, real quick? What town?
Sorry, Clementon, New Jersey, in South Jersey.
Which town?
Clementon?
Clementon. Is that
Yeah.
Cumberland County?
No, county it is. It's by Berlin.
Okay. Yeah.
So
Over by Philly on the southwest side.
yes. Yep. So I knew it was like a kind of an area that they could fill. And there was a vacant property at a corner at a light. But it was a bank basically was selling it. So it was big enough to hold more than a Dollar Tree. But anyway, I had an idea of what could be there. So my boyfriend actually, he got the property under contract. And then we drew a site plan. We hired an engineer to create a real plan. I got a Dollar Tree deal approved in committee. And then we had a pro forma of, how much it would cost of, soft costs and hard costs, et cetera. and then we were able to like basically sell the pro forma to a developer. So he flipped the contract and made a commission, and development's there today. So that's pretty cool.
Very, very cool.
Yeah.
A lot to that. So, you was the first. You knew that Dollar Tree wanted to be there. So, was the first step that you did? Was it put the property under contract?
Yes.
So you tied it up. How long did you have to like do this? Because that's always the contract's only as good as long as you have to try to be able to put all these pieces together.
I mean, we had a pretty good. I mean, we had a good amount of time. It was like 18 to 24 months or something like that.
Okay, so that's perfect.
Approvals. Yeah.
Yeah, that's great.
Yep.
And so you have 18 to 24 months, and the bank, historically, they paid like high rents. I don't know the market well in Clementon, but was it a tough negotiation with the seller, or was it pretty commercial?
It was pretty. I mean, it was basically a property that was about to be foreclosed on. So the bank just wanted to sell, get it off of their books.
Oh, amazing!
Yeah,
that's a good opportunity.
Yeah, it was really cool opportunity, and getting Dollar Tree to approve it was my next step. Making sure I had a deal that I can get done, and I had a lease. So we didn't know if we were going to be able to develop it ourselves, but we just didn't have that kind of money to build it. So, we flipped the contract to a developer,
and so you. So you're and flipping a contract.
We didn't even have to close on the property.
Right. So
we literally basically assigned the contract, and they knew how much it was. We paid for it. There was so.
Yeah. So that is interesting because, and that's where I was going next, which is it's a really clever way to make a deal happen because you obviously you got to put it under contract, then you get the deal done with Dollar Tree. You got to get a lease done with Dollar Tree, and you're representing them for years. Now you're their landlord in this scenario, but you're not. May not be the intent of it long term. So you get a lease, and you're not out of pocket a ton of money because you haven't bought the property yet. You might have had to make a deposit, and you paid for plans and engineering and going through the approvals. The flip of the contract, here's one of the pieces. Oftentimes, when you deliver that contract, you might have to deliver approvals. Did you have to get the approvals, or did the developer?
The developer got all the approvals.
Wow. Mm-hmm. And so they paid you a fee for the contract, and whether they closed on the property or not, they had the contract, correct?
Yeah. It was like, I guess it was like an assignment of a contract.
That's amazing.
Yeah, it was pretty cool.
My
father obviously helped us orchestrate the whole thing.
Sure.
But I learned a lot from doing it. So.
Yeah, that is really, really cool. And what made you go about it that way? I guess why did you saw this opportunity? When did you decide, like, I'm going to have to put this under contract to make a Dollar Tree happen?
I mean, I knew it was the perfect location for them. I toured the site with them in the past.
Yep.
And
But I guess my question is more like, why not get a developer in the beginning and bring them in versus all the time you're dealing with landlords, developers, and tenants all the time, and you're the intermediary. Why go the route where you're going a little step further than you might?
Yeah, well, obviously my boyfriend, who owns a real estate company himself, we didn't know if we were going to develop it ourselves.
Yep, I got it.
So we did end up, we thought maybe we could do that, but and we were trying to maybe do a JV with somebody. We didn't know what we were going to do. I was just like, you need to control this property.
Got it. Yeah, you need to control it.
That was our first initial step in controlling the property, is making sure we got it under contract.
Yeah, and I think for those out there who might invest in other asset classes, I think that's one of the big things, which is like people are afraid to maybe make an offer on something or take some because they're like, oh, it's $1 million, but the first step is really just need to get it under your control. You're not out of pocket $1 million just yet.
So I'm not in the business of doing that. I've never, we're not developers. Whereas my boyfriend is Michael DeGeorge. He I don't know. It just comes natural to him. Like I need to focus on one thing and getting things leased, pretty much.
Yep.
Whereas he could focus on that aspect. So it was really neat to work with him on something like that.
Very cool.
Where we could both kind of work on separate things and get it done together.
Yeah, that's really cool.
Yeah.
What a good story. Is it open now, did you say?
Yeah, Dollar Tree's open. I took a picture there a couple weeks ago. It was really cool.
That's really cool. Congratulations.
Yep.
And that is how they ended up in Clementon, because Danielle went gangbusters and put it under contract. So, really cool. And so appreciate the story. We talked about earlier what the pandemic was like, and now, at least from my perspective, I don't know if you share the same, it's total whirlwind, because I think in March of 2020, I was like going, what's going to happen to this industry? Have no idea what's going to happen. And today it feels like activity is, people want to be in stores, retailers need them to profit, and it feels like, notwithstanding macroeconomic headwinds, whether it's interest rates, inflation, retail's, really feels strong. How are you seeing it from your lens?
I agree with you. I know that there are some stores out there, like the Gap, for instance, where, most of their sales are being done online, and, people are really just doing returns and everything. But, when it comes to like supermarkets, discounters, flooring stores, home decorating, they're still going super strong. And the restaurant drive-through, the whole drive-through category is like, just on fire.
It's crazy. Everyone wants a drive-through.
Yeah. So it's kind of interesting. Like we're taking a look at every single gas station today, because they seem to be mostly all available, like the smaller ones. And like Getty, for example, PMG, they basically have become real estate companies. They could take back properties and then redevelop them. But there's really not many vacancies when you think about it. And then when there is a vacancy, they're getting filled up.
That's what's crazy, right? Because, we read headline news in March of 2020, like every store in America was going to close, and now there's no availability for space.
Yep. And there hasn't been much new construction either. So
yeah, exactly.
There's maybe, there's one large shopping center being built here in Old Bridge, a new ShopRite Target Center, but we haven't seen new construction in forever.
Yeah, I saw Federal's doing that. Not Federal,
Regency. Yeah.
Regency's doing that. Yeah. That's going to be an interesting one for sure. We're seeing the same. It's so crazy how fast things move, and that's why, I'm always like kind of got looking over my shoulder a bit, because the market shifted from, overnight the market like collapsed, right? We had a pandemic, we were sheltering in place. Then pretty quickly we came out of it, and everyone was running and gunning, and it can turn back and forth pretty quickly. I think the good news is today is that we're so much more well occupied than we were before the pandemic.
Right.
And I would argue that it's a much stronger tenant base, because a lot of the weaker ones were weeded out in the pandemic.
Right.
So I think whatever happens next is, just like always, is probably going to be interesting. So
yeah.
So, and by the way, so
It's going to be interesting to see what happens. We have a lot of these Amazon supermarkets that are about to open in our area.
yeah.
So it's going to be interesting to see what happens when they open, what happens to some of the other local supermarkets. We don't have too many local supermarkets. I know ShopRite's supposed to be like, they're supposed to gear up with their new, I think, carts, a similar kind of system as Amazon. I don't know. We'll see. There's going to be a lot of supermarket competition.
Well, there's a lot of interesting tech that I think could happen in a supermarket. I've been waiting, because I heard this was happening. I've been waiting for and tell me if you would like this. I've been waiting for a little bit more smart technology in the home with the store. So imagine this. Imagine you're driving home and you talk to Siri and you go to your ShopRite app, and the ShopRite app says something, or the Amazon app or the Lidl or Aldi or whatever it says, in your fridge, you have these 3 items. If you go to the nearest ShopRite or the nearest Stop and Shop, which is here, and you pick up these 4 items, here's 6 recipes you can make tonight. If we had that technology in the fridge, the smart fridges, I think there's interesting things to come. I think, that would be pretty fascinating. So
I heard that Walmart either has it or is coming out with like an app where like it's a virtual Walmart where you're walking through Walmart, and then like you're not in the store, but you
in the metaverse.
See the shelves, you pick out what you want, and then it gets delivered to you.
Really?
It's like 3 days or something. Yeah.
I didn't see that. That's interesting.
Yeah.
That's interesting. So I've been playing around with that because, not that app, but the metaverse stuff, because I have, I toured some virtual offices. So people had offices where like employees are remote, but they're operating and navigating in a virtual office. So like you have an avatar. I make myself like some Harry Potter avatar, as you said. And I look like Harry Potter, and I go to like the break room in the office, and I say, hey, how's it going? And I get my fake cup of coffee, and they're like, oh, I'm going to a meeting over here. I'm like, stop by over here when we're done. But it's all through, it's like you're in the office, but you're not physically there.
That's crazy. I don't know.
Yeah.
I bet you our kids are definitely going to be into stuff. I mean, they all have. My son has the Oculus, I guess it's called, right? And it's just it's virtual reality, and it's amazing. I don't know.
How old are your kids?
10.
10.
10, yeah. It's so funny. They 10 years old, and again, I try to help them with homework. I'm like, Axel, let's print this out so we can study. He's like, print? He's like, we're just going to split screens. I'm like, okay. All right. They're just like, they know so much more than us. Like, computer-wise, it's hysterical.
Print this out. He looked at you like
they do better Google. They do better, like, what's it called? They just do better presentations. It's like professional stuff. It's amazing.
And you have twins.
Yeah.
My wife is an identical twin.
Okay.
Yeah.
I got boy-girl twins.
Are they at each other's throats, or are they super tight?
Half and half. They're not each other. They're just they stand by one another, but they're not like. I don't know. My daughter's a lovey-dovey. My son's like,
Say no more. Fair enough. Okay, I want to take us to the last part of the show. I call this retail wisdom. I got 3 questions. Are you ready?
Mm-hmm.
All right, question 1. What extinct retailer do you wish would come back from the dead?
Toys R Us.
I love Toys R Us too.
Yeah.
All right, question 2. What is the last item over $20 you bought in a store?
Steak.
Question 3, last question. If you and I were shopping at Target and I lost you, what aisle would I find you in?
In the home accessories aisle. I'm very into home fashion.
Love it. Well, Danielle, this has been great. Thank you so much for coming on the show. Good luck, and I will probably see you in Las Vegas.
Definitely. Thank you so much.
All right. So hang on here 1 second.
Yep.
Appreciate you watching. Hit subscribe. See you in the next one.